Creating elegant shaped cards that are mailable should be quick and easy. However, you might be one of my crafting friends that gets stuck. You just don't know where to get started. So join me. We'll show you some beautiful, intricate cards that are shaped, that are mailable, easy to do. So join me and we'll get started learning how to do these together. To create this card base, I'm using the album accents and tag die. Just laid it on top of a folded card base. Just make sure that that blade by the fold edge just is extended. So you can run that through your machine and then that comes out. It is all die cut, so that creates your card base for you. The next step I'm really excited about. This stamp and die set comes from the Patchwork Daisy collection. Pairs wonderfully with the buttons and balloon collection we launched last night. Now this die in here is very fun, interactive, and makes beautiful card fronts. So to get started, take whatever color ink you like and stamp with, I'm stamping with a cactus flower today. So we're just going to ink this up real well. Now there is one trick that I want to make sure that you know about, so you don't do what I did when I first used it. But there is a stitch line on the center, and make sure that is on the left side so it doesn't detach from your card when you go to cut it out. I'll show you what I mean by that in just a little bit. So we're going to go ahead, I'm just going to make sure that is on the left. Yep, the stitch line that goes down the center is on the left hand side. So we're going to go ahead and just stamp this kind of down the middle of my card. So we'll go ahead and just give that some firm, even pressure. And once that is stamped, you can go ahead and lay this die right on top. Now the reason you want to lay this on top and make sure that that stitched line that you see down the center is on the left is there's going to be a die blade that cuts it out on the right hand side. If you have that reversed, it's going to cut it off on this side. I'll show you an example of that in just a little bit. So we'll go ahead and just line this up. There we go. Oops, I have this turned the wrong way. There we go. The curve isn't the right way, it won't line up. There we go. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and just tape that down. Then open up your card base just like that. And then you'll run that through the machine, and that will cut that die right out for you. So when that comes out, you'll have that all cut out, and you'll have those beautiful flower pieces that stand up to the side. Now, if you have that stitch side on the right hand, it will actually detach it from the card. So you want to make sure you don't do that if you have the fold on your left hand side. So your next step is going to be adding the fun layers and assembling this card. The eyelet border basics die coordinates beautifully with the curve that we just cut out. So we're going to use that as a layer. So you have two borders that accent each other. One goes left, one goes right. So I grabbed one of the borders, accent it with the eyelet lace, so that creates this beautiful die cut piece. And we're just going to add this to the back. So if you just want to go ahead and add a thin line of glue just right along this base, and then you can go ahead and attach this border die to the back. So just flip this right side up so you can see a little bit better. And I use this side edge. You see how that is kind of coming up. And I'll use that as my grid on when to where to glue that down. And then if you wanted to, you could always pull these petals up a little bit. You could add a little bit of a curve into them. You could even do that prior to adding it to the card base. So you could add that as just a little bit of dimension. So Our next step is going to be making this into kind of a fun little pocket. Before we do that, we're going to snip off the edge of that border on the bottom and the top, and just kind of go along the curve that's on the top here. So you can just kind of trim that off, and you have that beautiful die. Now, to glue this piece to the back, all you need to do is just go ahead and just add a little bit of glue to the outside edges so this creates a pocket for you. So we'll go ahead and just glue this right to the background. Just wanted to make sure that I have the right side facing out on that one. So you can just marry that together on the back there, and you've got that pulled together, and then you can add a tag in there if you wanted to. Then you can go back, accent it with some of the flowers from the Buttons and Blooms collection. This was stamped in white and embossed with a clear kind of sparkle embossing powder, so that just kind of lightly pops up that design. It might be a little bit challenging to see that on camera, but you could also just stamp that with a regular ink as well. Then you can go ahead and shape those flowers really quickly. Oops, I just pulled out that tag. You can just shape those flowers very quickly and easily. Glue those to the top. You could offset those petals if you wanted to. And then you can cut this swirl, which is in the Patchwork Daisy collection, and add that to the background as a beautiful accent to finish off that card, and then stamp the background and add some glitter as well. The Patchwork Daisy collection features 3 stunning stamps and die sets along with a pretty paper collection. So the first one that we just got finished using is your Patchwork Daisy border. So you have your daisy border and then a left and right swirl that's really pretty to use. With that, here's another way that you see that we use the stamp and die we just got finished demoing with. And then here's another one along the edge of a card, so you can really have a lot of fun with it. But as you can see with these, there is a stitched background that creates a pretty pattern on top of pattern paper or even plain cardstock as well, and that is this hand-stitched background. This is absolutely stunning, and lots of colors on vellum, heat embossed. Like on this cards, you'll see that on the background on glossy cardstock, and then just brayered along with that beautiful die along the edge, so you can have lots of fun with that. This eyelet border again has 2 different sets of eyelets and 2 different sets of this pretty border at the bottom, so you have a left and right, and this coordinates with some of our previous border dies that we launched as well, so you can have lots of fun even using this one for pockets, kind of like we did here with the flowers. You could use it for your photos as well. So you'll see this one used on some of our albums and stuff too. So here you use the beautiful background paper paired with those swirls, the border die on the bottom. Another beautiful accent that we have that coordinates perfectly with the Buttons and Bloom flowers is the large Patchwork Daisy left and right swirl. So this is a larger one, so it has your leaves, it has your swirl. So it's a really pretty background piece that accents these very beautifully. So here we have 2 of those borders together along with a pretty little tag from the paper collection. Here's another one of those arched, and we'll add in the video description which other border dies that coordinates with, because the name I'm drawing a blank on at the moment. So here we have that first Patchwork Daisy border stamp and die. I'm just completely cut out. You would have to do a little bit of scissor cutting with that. Here's a larger card where we use the back patchwork background or the stitched background on vellum. It's a little bit difficult to see, but it adds a perfect background. We have it stamped there, and you have those beautiful swirled flowers. This one is a very clean and simple card. I love how this was just cut out of that inside base and then re-added to the card. This stitched background was added on top of pattern paper with white embossing, which is really pretty as well. Here's a tag if you like to do some altar projects with that beautiful border, the swirls and the Buttons and Blooms flowers. And then last but not least, we have a very elegant card that's a shaker using the pretty swirls and really coloring and adding some details with that. So last but not least, we have the beautiful paper, stunning, soft, warm, inviting colors. Can't wait to show you this. So pretty and elegant. Lots of fun colors. I think this would be very pretty for like a little girl's album as well. You have some pretty images you can die cut out. And then at the back you have those beautiful tags that coordinate with our tag dies. Have fun using these techniques to create elegant shaped cards that you can easily mail to your friends and family. If you don't own the Patchwork Daisy collection yet, get yours today. I have added the links below for quick and easy ordering. We love to see what you create. You can share your projects with us on Facebook. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to get subscribed today so you won't miss out on our upcoming videos. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next time. Bye.